And if you have any questions, please leave them on the Facebook page or in the chat room if you're participating with us on the town hall for Senator Carrico. Let's talk about the dicey issue or the tense issue of race relations in this country. I think we have a tremendous opportunity to make some real headway here. What are you seeing? What would you like to have happen? How do we reach across the aisle and between the races to bridge gaps and to create an understanding and real progress?
Well, we've seen this issue come to fruition in the last few weeks, come to a head. I mean, I think it's been building for some time. For me, I don't know if it's as much a racial issue as a prejudiceness issue. I think it's more that those that were growing up with low incomes and nothing, that they were not given an opportunity. They were looked at differently, and I think that is a prejudice issue, not a racial issue. Look, I grew up with nothing. I grew up in a poor home. I mean, I wasn't poor, but I wasn't by any means rich. Opportunities wasn't there for me. I had to work to go that way. Now, did I get preferential treatment because I was white? If I would have been growing up in the same atmosphere, if I was of color, would I have got the same opportunity? That's the question we got to ask. Are we actually giving people of the same? If I am a colored individual, if I'm a white individual, am I getting preferential treatment? Are businesses being prejudiced against the color of one's skin?
Right.
If that's happening, which it's being portrayed that that's the way things are going, then I think that's something that we need to address. Now, racism is a really, really hard word, and you and I know. I've served, and some of my best friends, the actual first person to wish me a happy Father's Day is a roommate of mine in the State Police Academy who is of color. And he's the first one who called me when my son was born. I love him like a brother. I don't see the color of his skin. And I think that we're in a time now that we don't see that as much as we did in the early 60s. It has evolved to the point that we are able to at least be able to look at the prejudiceness instead of calling this a racism issue.
Yeah, on our radio show every day we have it's on John Frederick's network. My producer Al Green's African American. We talk about race, and he has separated out. And it's interesting that you brought that up. Prejudice versus racism. We'll be talking about that later today on a radio show at 5 o'clock. Might want to call in and hear his perspective and, in our conversation about it, because he said that, everyone pretty much prejudges a situation or a person. If they don't know them, they're going to say based on, if they're wearing a tech hat, that's pretty much a Hokie, right? We're not going to agree on football. I get that. But he says when you weaponize that and do something negative towards that person, that's racism.
Right.
You're taking a thought and putting it into action. And then the systemic nature of that is something that we're also exploring there.